All right, let's take a look here at durable block storage, and that means we're talking about hyperdisk and persistent disk. So let's make it clear, why would you want to use hyperdisk over persistent disks? Well, hyperdisk can increase or decrease volume without changing without changing the size. It doesn't depend on provision capacity. It has higher IOPS and throughput limits. So, you know, if you can, always use hyperdisk. There's never a reason to not use hyperdisk unless it's not available. One thing that you need to know about durable block storage is that if you create a disk, you're charged for it even if it's not in use. So, make sure, you clean up your old durable block storage that you're not utilizing. When you go ahead and create an instance, it will show you what is available. And it really depends on what, again, machine series you're launching. And this list will completely change. It can be really small, really long. So you're just going to have to take a careful look. But for this one, I don't know what I was launching here, but I was getting basically all the types of disk, right? So we have hyper, disk balance, extreme, ML, throughput, a lot of different names there. In the next slide, we'll talk about the comparative of all these different types. Some hybrid disks can be attached to multiple virtual machines at the same time, but that's not always the case. I don't know what the limit is, but I'm just telling you that I noticed that. Now let's go take a look and compare hyperdisk and persistent types that we have. So let's start on the hyperdisk side. So we have balanced and balanced high availability. These are general purpose enterprise. These are good for general purpose enterprise applications. Then you have extreme. These are high-end database workloads. So think of SAP HANA. Then you have ML. So if you want to run AI ML workloads that need access to large amounts of data, then you want to use the hyperdisk ML if it's available. You have hyperdisk throughput. This is cost-sensitive workloads, analytical workloads, and workloads that require less than 600 megabits of throughput. On the persistent side, we have standard. Notice the number there on the side. That's a number I made up to help you quantify how much better the next one is in terms of performance. But really, when you're comparing performance, it's a little bit trickier because it's really hard to boil it down to a single number. So it really depends on reads and writes and what you want. But I just generalize it here so you have an idea how much better these get as they go. But for standard, it's cost sensitive. It's great for throughput optimized non-boot data drives. Now we go to balance, it's 18 times more proficient. These are great for general purpose enterprise apps, best price per gigabyte. Then you have SSD, which would be, I would consider it times 90. So these are performance sensitive, business critical apps, best price for IOPS. And you have extreme. These are high-end database workloads such as SAP HANA. Again, the docs, information is very fragmented, so I had to do my best here to, again, quantify it for you. And other providers, we generally will do this. We'll have an idea of sense with this number, but Google doesn't do this here for you, so I had to figure it out myself. But yeah, I think standard and balance, because obviously we have SSD down here. So these are probably running on HDD hard disk drives up here. That's probably why they are what they are. But there you go.